Hey, welcome back to Cars to Yards, a sports and sports card podcast coming to you from the Adventure Begins Stadium. Adventure Stadium from Adventure Begins, comics and games, same thing. But Same family, just in the upstairs. Back with Lou. How's it going?
It's going good, man. How was your holidays, Christmas, New Year's? Was it good?
It was good, yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it was better than TCU's championship game attempt. That's for sure. But you know, I got blindsided here and there, but not that bad. Yeah. That was like historically bad.
Did you stay in town or did you head out and?
Oh, I went up to Dallas, not for that, but I mean, or not. I avoid Fort Worth, but that's the whole thing. I went to SMU, so go Ponies.
Okay.
TCU is my enemy school. Both of my enemy schools are purple and silver. SFA, because I went to Sam Houston State for undergrad.
But
and
you had a good time,
and TCU,
right?
yeah.
You had a good. How's your year going so far? We're only 12 days in.
Pretty horrible because for some reason my football team decided to win a game that no one on earth wanted them to win, themselves or their coach, and then so the Texans do that miracle comeback for no reason. No one wanted them to do this. I'm probably least of all the Bears, right? Because now they got to decide, what do I do with the number one pick? And so the Texans leave themselves with zero leverage, without a head coach, and now they're talking about having to trade a first-round pick if they get, win the Sean Payton sweepstakes, which I would do because we're going to waste it anyway.
Look, Sean Payton's not going to go to a team that needs a rebuild. He wants to go where there's at least some type of spark there at quarterback, some type of stability there. He's not going to want to go to the Texans. I'm sorry. I could possibly see him landing maybe with Denver, possibly the Chargers if the Chargers go one and done, or possibly the Cowboys if they go one and done this Monday in Tampa. Because McCarthy back-to-back 12-4 seasons or 12-5 seasons and can't get out of the first round, out of the wild card. So I could see that possibly happening, or better yet, possibly going to Indianapolis if Indianapolis is willing to trade up for the number 1 or 2 pick to snag themselves either Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud.
But if that was such a draw for him, Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud, Texans will get that by default. So, I mean that.
But here's my question.
Yeah.
You have the number 1, number 2 pick.
Right.
All right. And you already have a quarterback. Look, like, for example, Fields, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're going to have to make a decision.
Fields is great. I'd go ahead if I'm with the front office making all these decisions at Chicago. I am going to go ahead and try to sell that first round pick because really there's no good offensive line, which the Bears need in the first round. So why not go ahead and try to get some second round picks for this year and maybe a first and a third for next year where there possibly could be some O-line coming out of that draft class there. Yeah. And they have a lot of money. I think they have over $107 million.
It's a lot. I saw the cap room. Money. It's a lot.
Build that team with some veteran O-lines. Look, at the end of the day, football games are won in the trenches. All right? If you can turn a team into a one-dimensional passing team, then you can go ahead and play your zone defense and not have to worry about the run as much because that defensive line is not letting nobody through. Same with the offense. If the offensive line could be built through free agency with some veterans to come into Chicago, and they could sell them on the whole, hey, we're building a new stadium type deal. We got a franchise QB. Yeah. We just need some time back there for Fields to cook. Then why not go to Chicago, right? So I'm selling the first round pick if I'm Chicago. Texans, I'm selling the second round pick if I'm the Texans, and here's why. I still believe in Davis Mills. Look, he's made some horrible mistakes. He's made some horrible mistakes, but you have to have faith in this guy. Look, what offensive line does he have there? He has to get the ball out in less than half a second. He can't take a 3-step drop without feeling pressure.
Yeah.
Again, I would go ahead and try to sell the second round pick if I'm the Texans to go ahead and have some leverage for the following season and with some of that cap room space, bring some people in. Simple. And let people fight over these first 2 QBs. When you already have... Look, if you go ahead and you try to take the second round pick and pick up, say Stroud. Stroud is looking like the second round pick right now. Right? And you bring Stroud in, that definitely starts a controversy between both quarterbacks. Where if you didn't pick up a quarterback, you could have definitely shored up on another receiver because Cooks wants out. Mechie's coming back next year.
Yeah.
Good. It's good signs for him.
Mm-hmm.
So what Davis Mills could possibly do with 2 good receivers on each end and probably throw a third one in there in maybe a second round snag. You never know what the possibilities can. The Texans are good at running back. They got what's his name? Pierce.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah,
he showed
Pierce.
nice flashes as a rookie.
Sure.
Right? You need to shore up the trenches first. And then everything else will fall in. But I say first and second pick, sell them.
This is going to sound like I'm picking on my team, but here's what the Bears should do.
Okay.
They should falsely claim allegiance to one of these top 2 quarterbacks. Sell them to the moon. Like, this is the change our franchise around. This is gonna be the great. and then convince the Texans, like, the guy's so good, trade us the 2nd pick and the 12th pick. And then the Texans are inevitably going to pick the wrong quarterback anyway. And then you're in that number 2 spot with the 12th pick, with all the teams below salivating for the number 1 quarterback.
So the Texans have the 2nd and the 12th?
Yeah, because the Browns.
Oh, because you're right.
Yeah.
They traded to the
But that scares me. But back to the Sean Payton thing, because of his weird contract deal, you have to give up a first round if he signs with you. And it's weird to think about having to trade assets for coaches, but they do it in the NBA also. So
you also have Harbaugh thinking about coming back into the NFL scene.
Yeah.
So, and what's the coach that's been with Stafford for a very long time? Sam something. Anyway, that coach right there is thinking about coming into the NFL now that he doesn't have any ties at Stanford anymore. So,
yeah.
Would you rather go with Jim Harbaugh, which is going to cost you $3 million to buy him out in Michigan, or give up a first round pick and possibly a second and possibly another one for the following year for Sean Payton? Don't get me wrong, Sean Payton's great. He could change. Look, there was a time where the Saints were the Aints, and they took a Super Bowl, bought that team together, and they were just, you rolling into New Orleans, it wasn't an easy dub. All right, you were going to fight for that, and Sean Payton knew what he was doing. So I wouldn't give up that much for the guy. I'd probably go after maybe.
Well, assuming the bridges were never burnt, I think the number 1 low key candidate should be D'Amico Ryans, because he's built a heck of a defense in San Francisco, and he's a Texans fan favorite, and that guy had an incredible motor, second to none. Like, not even J.J. Watt. Like, that dude, number 59, would run around and make all the plays, be the quarterback of the linebacker core. That's who I would want, because it would be giving him an opportunity to be a head coach. You wouldn't have to, give away picks. Yeah, back up the money truck or give up picks or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, does he want to come into this mess?
Everybody likes a good challenge.
Yeah.
If I'm him and I like a good challenge, then why not? Let's do it. Let's see what I can do. If I can't do it, then, bye. But if I can, then, hey, let's roll.
Yeah, but either way, the Texans should have not won that game.
I watched it too. Oh my gosh!
Whatever you think about sportsmanship, it's like, okay, but why? Do you think at that point, Tommy Boy, what's his name, Cal McNair, the guy who inherited the team?
Okay.
Yeah, the owner. Do you think at some point on the sideline he looked pretty mad when we scored the 2-point conversion? So do you think he decided right then and there, I'm going to fire Lovie Smith tonight?
Yeah, you know what? That was Lovie Smith's best way of giving back to the Bears.
Yeah. Probably.
Hey.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Well, we're going to see. We have, 5 vacancy jobs at a head coach right now?
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of shuffling. I mean, every year. This is a league that is produce or get fired. And that's what it's turned into. You don't have a team that's stable at coach except for the Steelers. The Steelers have had 3 coaches in the last 40 years. So we're gonna see. This is the carousel that we all witness every year.
Yeah, and we'll circle back to football in a second. But speaking of carousels and shuffling around, Correa went from the Twins to the Mets to the Giants back to the Twins, and he was going to sign a $315 million deal with the Mets. They got scared off on some health issue he had 7 years ago. then the Giants were like, "Sure, we'll take you, but let's negotiate."
It was the Giants first, and then the Mets.
Oh, that's
He
right.
went from the Giants. The Giants were going to give him 12 years, $355 million or something.
Yeah.
360.
Okay.
$360 million over a 13-year span, and then they said, "Nah, the physical. There was something with your leg."
Yeah.
And then he went over to the Mets,
and the Mets were like, "We have money," and then but
they threw it at him. 11 years, $315.
Yeah. But then they tried to like open up more of a negotiation, right? And then that's where it just it's like, okay, and you just went back to the Twins for $200.
And the Twins had him last year, so there was really no question in it. I mean, he played for you last year. He perfectly fine last year, so why not? But I think.
Do you think he called out Tuve and's like?
No, I think he realized that. Hey, look, let me just go where I'm guaranteed this right now. I think he has a 4-year player option in that deal. I think the deal is worth 6 years, $200 million. He's got a 4-year player option where he can, say, I don't want to play for you guys no more, which is likely going to happen because the Twins aren't all that good, but they can still win that division with how that division.
But he can still be the centerpiece for a team, and that's what a lot of guys want to be anyway.
It's a great thing about baseball. The longevity. You can go long.
Mm-hmm.
The only time you really can't go long is when your timing starts getting off here.
Yeah, I got us off on such a tangent because I was so mad at the Texans. But circling back to hobby news, 9.5 million sports cards graded in 2022. Does that surprise you?
No, it does not. I actually just submitted like 100 today.
Okay, so you're responsible for most of that then.
Yeah.
No, but PSA accounted for 75% of that, but they've gotten competition in recent years. It'll be interesting to see how it works out now that the kind of storm of the pandemic is over, and no one, you can't flip a $2 card for $100 anymore. So
depends what you got.
Well, it depends on what. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how you play it and when you sell it, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's
definitely
the timing.
The way you look at this at the end of the day is, like stocks. So if you do any stocks, this is very familiar to you. You buy low and sell high. Mm-hmm. Simple as that. You definitely don't want to sell in the off season. Definitely want to sell around when some big hot news comes around them or the beginning of a season or maybe onto a streak that they're having, that player. That's when you really want to sell your cards. If you're into the selling, I'm more of just like a hold. And, who would have thought back in 2000 a guy named Tom Brady would be the GOAT, right?
Yeah.
Nobody would ever thought of holding on to that guy.
No.
Maybe after the first year because he won a Super Bowl that first year.
Sure.
But nobody would ever thought that. Probably just throwing that guy's card to the side like, oh, this guy's from Michigan. He's scrawny.
Yeah.
Not going to make it.
And speaking of GOATs, Michael Jordan, most submitted player. Not a surprise at all.
Not a surprise at all.
And basketball, by far and away, most submitted sport to PSA. But then when you talk about some of the other grading companies, then it was baseball first.
Yes.
So,
well, then again, baseball has more players too. So I mean, it's I ain't gonna lie. We found a bunch of 1950 Manels and Lou Gehrig's and all that stuff, and we submitted them. And
that's a good find.
Baseball cards. There's a bunch of baseball old ones.
Yeah.
70, 80 years old.
But even with that, 60% were modern day. Within the last 10 years even. That's a little bit surprising only because of the boom of...
Well, because there's also more people getting into the hobby now and still to this day.
And brand new and churning out new rookies and stuff like that. So
and a lot of people are afraid of, us being at the bottom now. Yes. I mean, we're not where we used to be, right? It has kind of leveled out. It has kind of plateaued a little bit, but we have predictions that it will go back up again because now there are more people into the hobby, more affordable hobby boxes now. Like I said, things aren't as hot as they used to be, so expect more grading.
Some old favorites coming back. Once ever the whole deal is sealed with Topps making basketball and football again.
I know a lot of people that are actually turning in a lot of their cards to go vintage.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely. And speaking of stocks, nothing makes the stocks of athletes rise faster than playoffs, and NFL playoffs is one of the favorites. So, I want to give you a shout out though, because man, your Lions almost snuck in there.
I said it would come down to the last game. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah. And
if only Seattle would have lost, they would have snuck in.
It makes you feel bad for them if they would have won one game in that bad streak they had, or even a tie.
Well, they should have won that one against the one before the on week 17. Who did they play? They really just skunked it, man. But they should have won that one. And that would have been, hey, play and you're in. Win and you're in. And I just had a really, really good feeling that they were going to go in there into the frozen tundra of Green Bay and really show out. And they did. Even when they knew they were eliminated, they still went in there and said, you know what? Rodgers, if we ain't going, you ain't going, big dog. So,
and maybe have ended Rodgers' career.
Maybe. I mean, do you think he goes somewhere next year?
He looked pretty sad in that tunnel.
Yeah.
But would you just call it quits rather than go somewhere else?
I'd rather go somewhere else. I mean, if you feel like you still got it, I mean, look at Brady. I mean, he called it quits, and he was like, you know what? I still got it.
Well, he's also
didn't do good this year.
So Rodgers should pick like the absolute worst division to go to.
Rodgers going to the Raiders. He's going to reunite with Devontae Adams.
Okay.
I'm going to call it right now.
Okay.
All
right. We'll see how that goes. But as far as the teams that actually made it, who do you got on the AFC side? I'll tell you, like, the toughest pick for me is that Chargers-Jags game, the 5 and the 4. It's at Jacksonville. They're going to be pumped. They've been looking pretty good, surprising. I mean, they're in a bad division too, but I think they've overperformed and the Chargers have underperformed. So it's kind of like, which of those teams?
Well, with and this is very interesting playoff bracket here with the rosters of injuries and all that stuff, where they stand right now as we speak.
Yeah, well,
that is the toughest one by far, because Jags on their high horse right now.
Oh yeah,
snuck
absolutely.
in, won the division. T-Law is just looking really, really good. But however, I still think that the Chargers squeak this one out.
Okay.
Statistically, on paper, Chargers should win this game. However, do not underestimate that Jaguars team. They are young, they are hungry,
at home,
and they are at home. Exactly, and it's hard to win in Jacksonville sometimes.
It is.
Ask the Colts.
Yeah, it is.
Lamar Jackson, if he goes, that's going to be a tough game. Right there. That's going to be a close, tough game. But if he doesn't, Bengals.
It's also going to hurt. Like, it's going to be a tough climate to play in for if you're nursing an injury. So I don't know how long, if he's even going to last.
I got the Bengals on that one.
Yeah.
Bengals are just they just come together. At the beginning of the season, they went 0-2, and I go, uh-oh.
And then
they just started streaking.
And then with no Tua and the Bills riding the incredible high of DeMar Hamlin.
Taking the Bills all day.
I mean, can you imagine how emotional that's going to be with the Bills Mafia at home playoffs?
Taking the Bills all day. And with that being said, that goes ahead and pits the Chargers against San Fran. And then you got Bengals and Bills.
Whoa, don't put the Chargers in the Super Bowl yet. You said San Fran. You meant the Chiefs, though.
Oh, my bad.
And don't put them in the Super Bowl.
You're right,
yet.
right.
I mean,
sorry.
you can if you want, but
here's my upset. If it comes down to this, I like the Chargers to give the Chiefs a run for their money.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I like that. They play well against the Chargers. They do good. I mean, I think they played earlier in the year. They showed out. I mean, I think the Chargers. Did they lose or win? I can't recall. However, I like that to be my upset. Much respect to Patty Mahomes on MVP this year, which I think he will get. Losing Tyreek Hill, still throwing for 5,000 plus yards and 45 touchdowns. People said losing Tyreek, he wouldn't be able to do nothing. And look at him, right? So I have the Chargers going into the AFC Championship
against the Bills, or do you got?
And
the
I
Bengals?
like the Bills.
Okay. Well, Bills win that game. I mean, I think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. It's too good of a story not to be willed to happen. I don't know. We'll see.
I like that.
But on the other side, I am not a Cowboys fan, so I will refrain from picking. But what do you think?
I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm not going to be biased on this, all right? Look, it's one thing to go ahead and play against Tom Brady in the regular season, and it's another thing to face him off in the playoff. You're getting playoff Brady here.
Whew. And Cowboys have not looked good.
Cowboys are 0-7 against Brady all time.
Yeah.
Brady takes it, all right? The only way that the Cowboys win this game is if the Cowboys defense shows up and Dak does not throw more than 2 picks.
Oh. Well, what if Brady
and
gets
that running
sacked?
Game travels. Well, they say that good teams' running games travel. All right? So that's the only way I see that happening. But as of right now, the way our defense is looking, coming off a 26-6 loss to the Commanders,
Yeah.
I am taking the Bucks.
I think if you sack Brady 3 times or more, I think that's the key to victory against him.
Defense.
It rattles
Pressure.
him. He gets rattled like anyone else that's getting hit.
Pressure. Look, Minnesota being number 3, I had no faith in these guys all year. That's my upset of the entire thing there. I'm taking the Giants over Minnesota.
Yeah, okay. And then what about Seahawks who squeaked in past your Lions? And
Seahawks have no chance.
49ers
San Fran's
dominate,
defense, right? They are the best overall team in here when it comes to defense and offense. We're about to really see what Purdy's about.
Yeah.
All right, so playoff football is totally different creature than regular season.
Of course.
All right. So that pits us with San Francisco and no. Number 1 Eagles pits against the highest seed, which will be New York. Right? So that's NY here. And we have San Fran and the Bucks. Like I said, San Fran. I'm taking San Fran over the Bucks. Like San Francisco is the best overall team, I believe, so they move on easy. Eagles and who's that? Giants. That's going to be a tough game because it's pretty much a divisional game again, right? And all division games play each other hard because they know each other. They know each other's tendencies. It's like, they know what you're going to do. They know your strengths and your weaknesses, so they're going to play to it. That's a hard game to call. However, from the regular season, I'm going to have to go with the Eagles. The Eagles, if Jalen Hurts is healthy, he's playing, everybody's good, I have the Eagles going into the NFC Championship game. So, with that being said, from the AFC, I have the Bills moving in to represent the AFC into the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, okay.
Moving in. So I have a Bills San Francisco Super Bowl this year.
Okay. I'm going to go Bills Eagles.
Bills Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you really think that the Bills off that whole Hamlin thing is going to carry them all the way to a Super Bowl victory?
I mean, that and Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're
Bills,
good.
You have the Super Bowl AFC?
NFC? If that game would have happened, wouldn't they have had a chance for the number 1 seed in the bye? At least? I mean, they would have at least tied, right? But
see, I don't like the AFC. I don't like the AFC too much neither because now it's the whole flip coin, neutral side, blah, blah, blah.
Well, sure.
I'm not really paying too much attention to the AFC. It's like, whatever. Whoever wins, wins. The NFC is going to be pretty neat because 3 out of the NFC East are in. I'm hoping that NFC East can pull it off, but we'll see.
But also a Chiefs 49ers, that offense versus that defense. That'd be...
I would like to see another Chiefs and Bills championship game.
Well, as far as Super Bowl,
last year's game, that was nuts.
Oh yeah, but as far as Super Bowl, I think Chiefs 49ers would also be interesting.
Yeah,
offense versus defense. Mm-hmm. But
I would like to say Bills because of everything they're going through, et cetera, et cetera. However, I can see this easily going NFC for taking the Super Bowl this year. Easily.
Yeah.
That's my take on the playoffs nowadays. Now there could be some hiccups along the way. I mean, I'm not perfect, but you never know. I mean, Jags can upset, Ravens can upset. I mean, who knows? I mean, Skylar Thompson might come out of nowhere and do some crazy stuff and knock the Bills out in the first round. Anything is possible.
And we get a Monday Night Football playoff game.
Monday night, and my Cowboys are going to go ahead and really show who they are on Monday night. And we know who that is.
Well.
Over and under 2 interceptions for Dak.
Can I just say even and say 2? No, you said...
Over or under? He throws 1 or 3.
That's tough because... I wouldn't even put him in the position if I was that coach to be able to do that. Like I would I would rely more on the run game. But I'll say over. I mean, I think they're going to lose, so I'll say over.
The way he's been performing, I'm gonna say he's gonna go ahead and correct it.
He could tear it up. He could tear it up.
He's gonna throw no picks this Monday,
and they're gonna win.
Okay. The defense is gonna show up.
Simple, and then they'll be 1-7 against Brady.
1-7, and Brady will retire after this year.
Okay.
Or go to Oakland.
All right.
One of these big vets is going to Oakland. Unless Oakland can pull a rabbit out the hat and get the number 1 or 2 round pick and pick one of them, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. That's the only way I see it.
I mean, they could just throw in a used car and trade it to the Texans. we've already had David Carr. Why not Derek Carr also?
I could see that.
I can see it too, and it's not funny, but
no.
Know. Oh well, that's what they're gonna do. Cards. What about cards?
New releases. 2022, 2023 NBA hoops.
Yes.
An
affordable set.
It's $125, and it's a whole box. And we did a box yesterday just for the giggles, and we pulled a Paul Gasol autograph.
Okay.
It was really, really nice. The cards are sharp. There's a lot of rookies. It's only like $124 or $129 a box. We have plenty available on site. Come up here and grab yourself
Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason for the Rockets.
You know I'm not a big hockey guy, but we did get some Skybox Metal Universe. Skybox Metal Universe is just phenomenal cards. Definitely going PNG hunting there. Very affordable as well.
Also some throwback inserts like Big Man on Court. Instead they have Big Man on Ice.
That's nice.
Yeah.
We have that available here. I don't know the price because, like I said, I'm not a big hockey person to the point where I've had a lot of people ask about it. Topps Finest Baseball has not came out. What did come out, though, is National Treasures Baseball. And we've actually gone through almost 2 of our cases already and with customers and plucked some really nice stuff. One of them being a on-card auto out of 10, Julio Rodriguez.
I saw that. Yeah.
So that was a big card, big monster card out there. There was one gentleman that didn't want to open it here. He wanted to open it at home. 2 of them, actually. So, hopefully good luck to them on those plucks. We did get some Star Wars Galaxy hobby in.
Oh, man.
For the people that slept on Galaxy last year, please don't do it this year. If you try to go find a box now from last year, which was a phenomenal art set, they're somewhere around $650 to $700. We have ours at $360 for a box. Get them while they're cheap. They're phenomenal cards.
I saw a bounty. I don't know what the parallel's called. I'm assuming like black chrome or whatever, but I saw a bounty for the 1/1 Darth Vader is at $10,000.
Yes.
So
it has been hit. It has been hit.
Oh, it has been hit. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So that
I think they're trying. I wonder if they took it. Sell it right now. They were just hit the other day, I believe. I mean, we can talk to one of our guys out there that knows about it.
Yeah.
WandaVision. I don't think we're not getting that till like another week or 2.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're getting Spectra on 1/13, January 13th. We get Spectra Football. Spectra Football is one of my favorite sets because the cards are beautiful. Most of the cards are low numbered. It's a very high end price box, somewhere around $800 to maybe $900 per box. However, out of the 16 cards, you're gonna only get like maybe 1 or 2 base cards, and the rest are gonna be numbered. And I have never seen anything over 150 in that set.
Wow.
And within there, you're guaranteed like 1 to 2 RPAs.
Okay.
So that's great. The class isn't all that much, like to crave about. However, neither was 2017 minus Mahomes. But look how many stars came out of that class. So I could see a remake of this class being that. I mean, you have that 1 star, Pickett. Pickett will probably turn into a star. He's with the right coaching staff.
Probably. Yeah.
He's with the right team. And then the rest of this class is going to be nothing but receivers, defensive players, skill players that are going to turn into superstars, just like 2017 did.
Yeah.
So, what else did we get? I think that's it. We got some XR football, which released last Friday. Been great. I have not been upset with that at all, along with Mosaic Football. We got Mosaic Choice, which you're going for the Nebulas, which are 1/1s, along with the Peacock Super Short Prints, which are really, really beautiful. And I think that we got some F1 formula.
There's a lot of stuff you got in.
Yeah,
it's a lot of stuff.
We did get a good amount of stuff in over the last couple days. I mean, we haven't sat here and spoken over 2 weeks.
Well, right, weeks. But I just assumed the companies would have like a holiday lull, but they didn't.
No, they actually sent us everything. They were like, we're taking a day off.
It was like a week long, and now January is just filled with all kinds of stuff.
I think that's all we have. Let me just double check my email for you guys. I mean, because I did get a report on it. Oh yeah, tomorrow also, along with Spectre, you have No Huddle Mosaic.
Okay.
Real quick, I mean, if you're not a fan of the hobby, paying $400 for a hobby box, then jump into some No Huddle. No Huddle is a little bit cheaper. However, you get the exclusive autograph from No Huddle within that box. I've done better with No Huddle than regular hobby. You can still hit the case hits except for the Tessellation, which is out of 15, but all the other case hits are in play. So.
And that's just like one of those hybrid boxes we talked about
before. It's a hybrid box, but I love it. It's awesome. Like, it's affordable. It's not cheap like retail. It's not expensive like hobby. It's like smack in the middle. So I like it. And I think that's what we got for this week. And hopefully next week we get some more stuff and going forward.
Well, we'll finish up with a glossary term. We've done this one before, but you mentioned RPA, Rookie Patch Auto.
Rookie Patch Auto.
Yeah.
Rookie Patch Auto is exactly what it is. It's a rookie. It's a patch on there, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. I've even seen 4 with his autograph on there. Typically, those things are numbered too. So, depending on
football seems to be the hottest sport for that.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. Rookie Patch Auto, and again another one, SSP, super short prints, pretty much low print runs. Well, easiest way to say that.
Well, come check out the store. Talk to Lou. Get some of these millions of products that came out. You got a trade day coming up again?
Oh, we got a trade day. All trade days are on the third Sunday of every month.
Perfect.
So I think I think it's actually this Sunday, the 15th.
Okay.
So come check us out from 1 to 5. But most people stay till close.
You'll have football going.
We'll have football going definitely. If you want to, you can bring some food up. But I just say keep it away from the cards. Sit down on the couch, nice comfy couch we have, and eat and watch some football with us and hang out.
Please keep it away from the cards because you're not going to be able to convince anyone that your Rookie Patch Auto was taken from a guy eating a hot dog on the bench or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Lou, I'm Mark, and this has been another installment of Cards to Yards.
Well, gang, that's all for today's episode. So join us next week. Cards to Yards, brought to you by the Adventure Stadium, and the adventure begins. Again, we're located off 1488 and Woodland Square Boulevard. See you next time.